What's up, guys? I'm your noob,
And this is Luminous.
and today we're gonna try out a new series. So, me and Luminous have known each other for like 2 or 3 years, and we always talk to each other about like just random Dota stuff. It's usually strategies, but sometimes it's just really random. And sometimes we have good ideas, like our choke point jungling guide that we did together, and other times we think of dumb things like phase boot stacking.
It sounded pretty cool at the time.
It did.
And then I did the math, and it was shit.
Yeah. So this series is gonna be like a space where we can get out random Dota ideas that we have. So for this week, I asked Lumi to think of 1 or 2 suggestions, like strategies that he's been thinking about, and we're gonna.
Does it have to be
about
strategy?
It doesn't have to be. It could be game suggestions, changes to the game, refresher orb upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
So.
So this week is on me. You threw me under the bus.
No. We both have ideas that we don't know about from each other. So my idea is you know how when carries like 20-30 minutes into the game they have their core and then they have the first item, right?
Okay.
The first big item. And now the next decision is whether to buy the tier 2 the second item or save for buybacks.
Okay.
And my question is, why doesn't the solo mid give the carry his bottle or the carry buy a bottle? Because the way I see it, in a carry's perspective, almost all runes are effective at that stage of the game for the carry.
That has nothing. Like, I agree with what you just said, but I don't agree with how you got to that point. Like, what does that have to do with tier 1 items and tier 2 items or tier 4 items or
Because,
second tier 3 items?
Because you can get a
That
can get a bottle without ruining your buyback gold.
Right. So your basic question is asking, why don't the solo mid give the bottle away? That's it.
Or why doesn't the carry buy a bottle? Because
Well, they don't buy a bottle because it's a waste of gold.
Is it?
I think so. Well, actually, the gold isn't anything, to be honest, because there's a lot of really good flash farmer players or heroes that could earn 600 gold easy. Like 1 wave, 2 wave, that's it. That's your 600 gold. It's not the gold. It's the item inventory.
It's the inventory.
Yep. So that, I mean, we never see item sharing because I guess it's just not done. I think it's a viable strategy, but the inventory is where it hurts. Like, can you imagine a hero that would freely give up an inventory and not be harmed by it? I can't. That much.
20 minutes into the game, I don't see that big of a problem in terms of inventory because, like, let's take an example for Anti-Mage. 20 minutes, he has his treads, he has his Torment Stout, he has his Vanguard, right? And he should have his Battle Fury or his Manta, and then he will have his TP Scroll. That's 5 items.
At that point, do you want to have a bottle? Or do you want to have a Quelling Blade to farm faster?
Here's the thing. Torment Stout and you grab the bottle.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying in terms of the bottle is nice offensively as an item, but if you think about it, like what a carry does is he spends most of the time farming. At that point, you're not really actively looking for a rune, nor if you find a rune, you really want to go do a gank with it. Like if you have a bottle DD or something, like you could do a Roche, and I understand that. But to me, for the most part, it seems like you just want to farm. And also, like in that essence, the trade-off that the solo mid is losing, like. The bottle's so nice for him. He could go gank with the bottle. He probably is actively controlling the runes. But if he finds a double damage rune, like he actually could do something. Like I know a double damage rune or line on Anti-Mage is really good, but it's not bad on line or on Shadow Fiend or on Storm. It's not bad. It may be better on Anti-Mage, but I feel like Anti-Mage holding a bottle or a Spectre holding a bottle, he's not using the regen actively. I think he's holding an inventory slot. It's a cool idea, but I think it doesn't work. Or not that it doesn't work, it's suboptimal is the feeling I'm getting.
I had the same thoughts for a while too, but I was thinking I feel like it's worth it because it's only 300 gold investment for like let's say you put out 300 gold. It's like, alright, if I get a DD rune within the next 5 or within the next 6 minutes, because you're gonna sell the bottle back obviously very soon, so it's just about 300 gold investment, and you're thinking, alright, if we get a double damage, then we can actively seek out a team battle, and I could just rape everyone. Or if I get a illusion rune, or if I get a haste rune, which is all great things for the current carries, like because haste is really good because we have a bunch of melee carries.
Well, haste is always good, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I feel like that 300 gold investment is so optimal.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing, why do the carry actually have to hold a bottle? Like, if you want to do what you're suggesting, why don't the solo mid finds the bottle and be like, yo, carry, come over here, I'll hand you the bottle now, you bottle it, and we go.
We can do that too. That's a great idea too.
So, yeah, why at that point, you only give up your 6 inventory slot only if there's available rune. You don't have to hold it for no reason. See, like I said, I agree with your idea. I think it's great. It's just I dislike the idea of the carry holding it to a 6 slot, because that 6 slot is very important. So
I completely agree. So pretty sure we have the same stance where like it's a great idea, but the whole reason I said it before the second tier item, because usually there is 1 slot left, because you know you could buy the bottle, that's gonna take the spot of your next big item after your Manta, after your Battle Fury, and when you need to get that, you just sell the bottle, and at the end of the day it was 300 gold investment, which is like not that big of a deal.
right.
So that's my stance on it, and that's the idea that I'm gonna start trying out, because last night I did it. I was pubbing and I saw a double damage rune, and I was like, man, this would be really useful if I just bought a bottle and activated it during the team fight.
No, I agree with you. It's just like, I think you're underestimating your solo mid, who generally is a high impact hero. Like, think of your lines, think of your pucks, you know, whatever you have in mind. Like, he's a huge impact hero, and it doesn't hurt to have a DD or haste, or maybe even sometimes illusion on him. Like, it just, sure, the carry will give you more DPS, but, and what sometimes, like, if you find a regen rune, like, the carry doesn't need that at all.
Yeah, and he wouldn't take that.
All I'm saying is, I think your idea right here is somewhat underestimating the fact of a mid hero, like you suggest, having a very impactful rune. I think that's, I mean, it depends on the hero lineup. Like, if you have a Zeus mid and you have anti-mage, like, sure, a double damage on Zeus is somewhat useless. There's some case, like, if I have a Storm mid, I think I'm gonna give him every single rune over my anti-mage.
Even if it's double damage.
Well, maybe not DD, but you get what I'm saying. It's really case dependent. Like, for example, Spectre doesn't need a haste. She doesn't need she doesn't need regen. Double damage is kind of it's okay.
The real problem is pretty much invis and regen. Haste is in the gray zone, but illusion and double damage is definitely good things on.
Well, haste is decent on most carriers as well. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is it's case dependent. What you're trying to say is like always good. Which I'm not, at that point I don't 100% agree with.
It's not always good.
It's not always good.
Yeah. But the thing is that if you're losing, I feel like it's game breaking enough to take a 300 gold investment.
And I agree. And I'm saying the carry don't need to hold a bottle.
Yes, they don't.
So.
But the thing is that going back to your point about how game breaking the solo mid is, that the solo mid usually needs the 3 hits during the team battle.
Right. And the solo mid generally needs the regen that the bottle provides. That's why they got the bottle in the first place. They didn't just get it to do the rune control, which is good. Of course, you get it for ring control. That's a plus. But I mean, if you ever play any solo mid position, they burn through mana. They need regen quick.
Yes.
And just if you imagine them without having that bottle, it hurts them. I'm not sure how much did. I mean that, and also you're gambling. Like you're gambling the fact, oh, I will find a double damage rune, but you don't know that. At that whole time that your solo mid's carrying, or your carry is carrying that bottle, your solo mid is getting very little return. So.
Whoa. That's my question.
No, my answer to your question is, the way I see it, the solo mid holds the bottle. If he finds a decent rune, pass the bottle to the carry and go with that.
Okay.
That's how I see the situation. Which I've never thought of. That sounds pretty legit stuff.
Okay, so what is your idea for the week?
It's not any strategy. This is something I've been thinking about for a long time. This is more competitive game mechanics, sort of. Aside from the fact that it's single player versus multiplayer, what's the difference between a lot of other competitive games compared to Dota, like StarCraft, Warcraft, Counter-Strike even? The big difference is there is a different dimension of strategy involved in the map. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yes.
In Dota, there's just one static map, and all of us are very familiar with that one static map. But just imagine for a second that there's different maps available, not just one different map, but like 10 different maps available. All of them geared towards 5v5. Imagine there's some maps where there's only 2 lanes, but there's a mass jungle. Imagine there's 1 lane and there's lots of jungle, lots of small creeping spots. Can you imagine there's many more heroes viable in that essence? There's more jungling involved, there's more ganking, depending on the map. Sometimes there's a map with 4 lanes. I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there. But to me, I think that will lead to increase in terms of strategies. And I think currently Ice seems to be making it faster, but it's pretty much the same hero. Like for the 6.72 version and also in the Dota 2 version metagame right now, there's no really apparent strategy. They're just kind of picking the best heroes. And I think introduction of new maps will lead us kind of back to having more diversity. That's kind of the idea I've been toying with for a long time. And this is just, like there's no evidence backing this up, but that's kind of just what I think about it.
It's actually a very interesting idea because of all the other games that we study in terms of esports, like StarCraft, Warcraft, Counter-Strike, a bunch of maps. A lot of the strategy is completely different based on
Because of the map. Yep.
Because of the map.
Yep.
And the thing about Dota is that nothing changes besides the small nerfs that IceFrog does, and pretty much different trends that players want to do. Like, you know, the CK thing in China. Nothing happened there, and they just decided that CK was a great hero. So wow, that's a really interesting idea. If we had like a map with 2 lanes, or a map with like more gold effective neutrals.
Right. But the thing is, Han has that, right? Don't they have a 3-player map? Don't they have? The thing is, I don't like what about the way Han handles the situation is they kind of use those maps as like a public kind of thing. Oh yeah, you know, we have 3v3. Let's play this map. It's treated as if it's kind of a throwaway thing, that it's not competitive viable. Why not? Why isn't it competitive viable? We've seen all these esport games have maps, and they rotate maps, you know, season after season. Why can't this happen in Dota? Obviously, it's just a lot of work, but if this propels Dota 2 into a, you know, a world-class esport, and I think having maps makes the game more watchable if, you know, people care about watchability, because, like, at this point of the game, like, when I cast the game, I don't even say, oh, Sentinel has less advantage compared to Scourge when it comes to Roshan, because people already know that. Like, it's the same map. We've been playing for it on 6-7 years. There's small changes, but it's still, you know, Sentinel versus Scourge. I don't see why we can't have different maps. So that's my thought.
In StarCraft and Warcraft, the races are static. If you understand what I mean, like you know, the units are the same. Everything is the same besides the strategy and the map, right?
Right.
So in Dota, it's almost the same thing. The heroes are pretty much static. The strategy changes and the play changes, which is true in all games. So it seems like there is nothing dynamic about Dota from a game-to-game basis in terms of like, well, pretty much a map can only be the inherently dynamic thing about a game. Because you could easily have 2 games of Dota that literally pick the same heroes, you know? And then it'll just be worse or different strategies or different play that makes the game different.
Yep, so that's kind of my thought on it. Don't really have anything else to say because it's such a I don't watch Counter-Strike a lot. Do you watch Counter-Strike a lot? Is it actually a different map? I assume there was different maps but I don't know that 100%.
All shooting games have different maps.
Okay, and how does it affect? Like, do you play differently?
Yeah, completely.
Okay.
There's different spots you have to control. There's different places that you wanna, you know. Well, there's different objective-based games too. Like, there's ones where you just kill their team, or there's ones where you plant a bomb. Usually, it's plant the bomb.
Okay, there you go. But you know. I remember suggesting this to IceFrog a long time ago, but he kind of merely took it as, you know, some random dude suggesting. So it's such a random idea. What do you guys think? I have no clue.
All right, so this is what the series is supposed to do. We're supposed to get out our ideas, and then basically the viewers, whoever's listening to this, you guys respond and tell us how you guys feel about this, because we all have Dota ideas and we all want to get them out. So if you comment, we'll look at them and we'll probably discuss some of them in the next one, because there's a bunch of random interesting Dota ideas that we always discuss, me and Lumi. We do this all the time. I think we're gonna end it right there, and until next time, you are Noob.
Noobness.
Signing out. See you guys later. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked today's discussion, don't forget to subscribe for more theory crafting and Dota tips.